Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a dwarf with a mining quota to fulfill on a faraway planet swarming with hostile bugs? Well, you're about to find out. Welcome to another relaxing ASMR video. Today, we're going to have a look at Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, a game that has hit early access towards the end of February, and it has piqued my interest. So let's see if it's any good. The game is developed by Ghost Ship Games, a relatively small Danish game studio. Contrary to me, you might have stumbled upon their previous game that turned out to be a hit, Deep Rock Galactic, a 4-player co-op first-person shooter featuring space dwarves. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor is set in the same universe and features those same badass dwarves, but with a twist. It's a single-player auto-shooter. Wondering what an auto-shooter is? If you played or seen Vampire Survivors, that's a prime example. In essence, an auto-shooter is precisely what it sounds like. You control a character that automatically fires all their weapons at an ever-increasing horde of enemies, all trying to kill you. As you dispatch foes, you level up, and with each level, you can enhance your arsenal and defenses to make it to the end of the scenario. Typically, these scenarios are timed experiences. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, though, introduces some noteworthy innovations to the tried and tested, maybe repetitive formula of auto-shooters. Let's have a look then at its base characteristics and see what sets this game apart. First of all, the game is set in space. You assume the role of a dwarf miner, and it's your job to land on a planet, extract valuable minerals, survive relentless waves of hostile bug-like creatures, and return to base, all in one piece. Sounds simple, but it is not, at least not in the beginning. Nevertheless, this seemingly simple setup allows the introduction of multiple layers that, in my view, set the game apart from the others in this genre. First of all, the action is structured in distinct stages and phases, adding depth to the experience, making you really feel you're working on the clock. Additionally, as a miner on a working schedule, you must gather resources, all essential for leveling up your character, both during a mission and upon returning to base. Furthermore, extra smaller objectives pop up during each stage, making the game rather dynamic and hectic. Let's dig deeper into each one of these. Each mission, called a dive, is divided into 5 stages, each punctuated by set events, triggered somewhat randomly. You can have a swarm incoming event, meaning all of a sudden the number of bugs chasing you increases quite substantially. This event may happen 1, 2, or even 3 times per stage. Then there's a supply pod event, where extra supplies are dispatched from mission control. However, in order for the pod to land safely, you must reach the designated landing zone and clear it of any rocks. Then you have to remain within the highlighted radius for the landing to complete. a supply pod event is a rather risky operation, especially if it happens right after or just before a swarm event, as it forces you to stay in a confined area for some seconds with the bugs fast approaching you. Typically, after about 5 minutes, the stage boss awakens and you have to kill it in order to move on. While there is no time limit to kill the boss, the more time passes, the more crowded with bugs the game area becomes, and eventually you will be overwhelmed by them. Once the stage boss has been killed, the escape pod that initially has deployed you will appear, and you have 30 seconds to reach it. And let me tell you, those 30 seconds can be rather intense, especially if the whole horde of bugs is between you and the pod, whose landing location is randomly picked. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can die before getting on the pod, as it happened to me a few times just a few meters away from the pod entrance. I mentioned that there are 5 stages, from stage 1 to 4. The format is what I've just described. Stage 5 does its own thing instead. There is no swarm event, just a supply pod one, and the whole stage is simply a crescendo towards the final boss, the big mean bug. Specifically, there are 3 eggs that will hatch, releasing an elite bug each. They will either hatch at set moments during the stage, or you can trigger the release earlier by damaging them. After all 3 eggs have hatched, the big egg containing the boss will hatch as well. Again, you can wait for the timer to reach that moment, or you can trigger the event earlier. When the big boss has spawned, it's just a race against time to kill it as soon as possible. If you have chosen the right upgrades, you will be able to kill the boss rather quickly and make it back to your escape pod. Regardless of the final outcome, whether you have completed the mission or not, you return to base, where you can use the credits earned and the mine minerals to buy upgrades for all your characters. But what do you do during each stage? Wait for the timer to expire and fight the boss? Well, yes and no. The game is indeed on a timer, but during each stage you'll be pretty busy. You're a miner, remember? You have a job to do. That mortgage won't repay itself, will it? There are different kinds of minerals you can gather, and all have different purposes. The most common ones are gold and nitra, and they are used after each stage to buy upgrades for your character. Other minerals instead are used at the end of each dive to upgrade the base characteristics of all your characters. I'll go in detail about these a bit later, don't worry. So during each stage, you have to move around and find all these precious materials, all while dodging enemies and their bullets, and things can become rather thorny. Also, each stage has got a mini objective as well, that if fulfilled, will grant extra gold and experience. For example, you might be required to pick up a certain amount of flowers or mushrooms, or mine a special mineral that only appears when the objective is active. While you're busy working, trying to earn your meager salary, all this is happening all at once. Bugs coming at you from different directions, swarms of tougher bugs trying even harder to stop an honest miner from doing his job. Then you have to ensure the safe landing of the supply pod, and the cherry on top is the stage boss that will start chasing you, screaming and puffing. Not to mention that each time you kill a bug, you gain experience in the form of small cubes that are released left and right on the floor. So you must carefully move around and pick them up in order to level up and improve your stats. Indeed, the life of a space miner is far from easy. But then again, who said it would be? Not all dwarves are created equal, and in Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, you'll find 4 distinct classes to choose from before embarking on a dive. These classes are the Scout, the Gunner, the Driller, and the Engineer, each offering unique playstyles and abilities. The Scout tends to be a nimble, light class. The Gunner instead favors heavy weapons and has the largest health pool among all classes. The Driller excels in mining speed and utilizes elemental weapons, whereas the Engineer prefers a more stationary playstyle. However, with the right upgrades, the Engineer can become an unstoppable force. At the very start though, players have access only to the Scout. However, as they progress and complete each scenario challenges, the other classes will unlock. Each class possesses its own set of characteristics like health, dodge chance, crit chance, mining speed, movement speed, etc. Moreover, each class has access only to a specific pool of 10 or 11 weapons, although not all are immediately available. Players start with 4 weapons by default, but as they continue to use a class, they will eventually unlock the whole arsenal. Furthermore, as classes level up, players will unlock 2 additional class modes that basically serve the function of a subclass system. Each mode enhances the starting stats and provides a unique starting weapon. For example, the Scout initially has only the Classic mode that adds 20 more health and 10% more movement speed. Later, players will unlock the Recon mode that will give 25% dodge chance and 35% movement speed instead. It's important to note that modes add to the base class stats and do not stack upon each other. At the start of each dive, players must select their character, equip a mod, and choose the biome they wish to explore, along with its hazard level. Currently, there are 3 biomes available, but remember, this is a game in early access, so they might add more in future updates. Anyway, currently there are the crystalline caverns, the magma core, and the hollow bow. Initially, only the crystalline caverns are accessible. However, as players progress, complete challenges, and undertake dives, the other 2 biomes gradually unlock. The crystalline caverns serve as the entry-level scenario, with monsters at default difficulty and no distinctive terrain characteristics. Progressing to the magma core presents a step up in challenge, featuring an additional 5% boost to both monster damage and health. The magma core biome poses additional hazards such as magma-covered rocks and floors, capable of damaging both players and monsters. Venturing into the hollow-ball biome escalates the difficulty further, with monsters having 10% increased health and damage. Here the terrain is overrun with vines, some of which can be destroyed with a pickaxe, even though they grow back after a while others are indestructible, potentially trapping the player as well. Each biome offers 5 distinct hazard levels, equivalent to difficulty settings, which players unlock by completing hazard challenges. For example, Hazard 1 of the crystalline caverns requires completing the dive, upgrading a specific weapon to level 12, and collecting 200 gold. As players progress to higher hazard levels, the challenges become more specific and demanding, contributing to the overall progression mechanics of the game. Let's now talk about leveling up, progression, mining materials, and weapons, since they are all connected. At the beginning of each dive, you are equipped with only one weapon of level 1. As you kill monsters and pick up XP cubes, your character levels up, granting you the opportunity to choose one of 3 possible upgrades each time. The range of upgrades is extensive, spanning from weapon-specific enhancements like increased reload speed or damage to more generalized boosts such as enhanced XP gain, movement speed or health, and more. These upgrades come in various tiers, mirroring the rarity system found in action RPGs. So you have common, uncommon, rare, epic, and even legendary upgrades. Weapon slots expand as your character progresses, unlocking a second, third, and fourth slot at levels 5, 15, and 25 respectively. With each slot, you gain access to additional weapons from a pool of 10 or 11 compatible with your selected class. Initially, only 4 weapons are unlocked, but as you keep playing, you will unlock the full arsenal. Apart from character progression, weapons themselves also level up. Each time you select a specific upgrade for a weapon, it gains 1 level, with rare or epic upgrades potentially granting 2 or 3 levels at once. Upon reaching levels 6, 12, and 18, weapons can be overclocked, receiving substantial enhancements that can drastically alter their performance, such as changing damage type or adding special effects like knockback or an explosion every time the weapon reloads. Let's now talk a bit more about the minerals you mine during each dive. There are different kinds of them, each serving different purposes. Gold and nitra are very common and are used to purchase upgrades after each stage of a dive, with players able to select and purchase as many upgrades as they desire, if they have the necessary resources. Once I managed to buy 6 or 7 upgrades. That was a good dive. Oh yes it was. One other material you can find is the red sugar that serves as a healing substance, and it can truly be a lifesaver in challenging situations. Rare materials like bismuth, copper, pearl, jaded, magnite, and numonite hold equal importance as they are utilized along with credits to buy upgrades for all characters at the end of each mission. An intriguing aspect is the ability to trade credits for materials and vice versa, offering flexibility in obtaining necessary resources for upgrades. This system mitigates the frustration caused by the game's RNG. In fact, these rare materials are randomly generated within each map, both in terms of location and quantity, meaning that some of them might not be present at all. So, do I like this game? The short answer is yes. To be honest, I'm relatively new to the auto-shooter genre. I stumbled upon Vampire Survivors by chance, many months after it was released to great acclaim. Initially, I liked its formula, but I grew bored maybe too quickly. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, though, has got something to it that I can see myself playing it for longer. The overall progress is well paced and makes me want to do another dive. Each dive presents achievable milestones like collect 100 gold or reach level 12 with weapon X, etc. As you achieve them, you unlock something: a new weapon, a new class mode, a new weapon overclock, etc. So you see yourself improving and increasing your chances of survival. Moreover, the gameplay keeps me engaged at all times. Whether it's searching for gold and nitra, clearing the landing zone for the supply pod, or mining rare materials, there's always something demanding my attention. At times, it almost feels like playing an action RPG, a genre I particularly enjoy. Not to mention the extra touches that make the overall game quite endearing. I find myself appreciating the updates from the mission control operator, who warns me of incoming threats, while also reminding me of my responsibilities as an employee. The operator's attempts to motivate me with promises of beers and sandwiches upon my return had a humorous touch. However, the highlight for me is the commentary from the dwarves themselves. When they pick up a legendary upgrade, or successfully kill an elite mob, or unfortunately kill a cute, peaceful little bug that contains useful materials, they frequently let out various hilarious remarks that always make me chuckle. Their mix of philosophical self-awareness and rather colorful language, let's put it that way, adds depth to the game's atmosphere. Graphically, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor impresses with its sleek isometric view and polished detailed 3D models. This sets it apart from the other auto shooters, which often opt for the retro 2D graphics, maybe with a limited color palette. In summary, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor offers a compelling and immersive experience that has firmly captured my attention and appreciation. The game was released in early access in late February, and as of now, there is no confirmed full release date. However, the developers have outlined an ambitious roadmap, promising additional biomes, weapon overclocks, stage events, extra class modes, and more. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this game develops and helping my miners to repay their mortgages and earn a well-deserved retirement. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see more ASMR reviews like this, please let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, feel free to explore my other relaxing videos. Links can be found on the screen and in the description. Until next time, take care and stay relaxed. Bye bye.